Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today with a message that comes straight from the heart. A message of hope, of healing, and of divine assurance. There are times in life when the world seems to turn its back on us, and the people we hold dear, those we have loved and nurtured, may turn away. When your own children reject you, when those whom you've poured your love, your wisdom, and your sacrifice into turn their backs, it is a pain like no other. It's a pain that cuts deep into the soul. The words rejected and abandoned may echo in your mind, and your heart may feel broken, as though the world has turned against you. But hear this, God says this, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Jeremiah 31:3. In the midst of your deepest hurt, in the silence of rejection, God's love for you remains constant, unwavering, and eternal. Have you ever felt the sting of rejection? A rejection so deep that it seems to pierce the very soul? Perhaps it came from someone you love dearly, someone you've invested in your own children. The pain is unimaginable. You wonder how it could happen, how the very ones you've given everything to could turn their backs on you. It leaves you feeling alone, broken, and wondering if there's any hope left. In those moments, it's easy to question your worth and wonder if the love you've poured into others has been in vain. But let me tell you, there is a truth greater than the rejection you feel, a truth that doesn't just stand against the rejection, but shatters it. Even when your own children reject you, God says this, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Yes, even when it feels like everything is falling apart, when the weight of abandonment feels unbearable, God's love for you never wavers. His love is unconditional, not based on your actions or anyone else's approval, but on his perfect, unchanging nature. It is not shaken by human choices or circumstances. His love is constant. Imagine this for a moment. In the midst of rejection, God is not distant. He's not sitting up there on some far-off throne looking down from a distance, indifferent to your pain. No, he is beside you, feeling every heartbreak, understanding. He sees your struggle, and he is there, ready to comfort you. His love is not a passive love. It's an active, living, breathing presence that wraps around you in your darkest moment. Even when you feel utterly abandoned, God's love is there, holding you up, reminding you that you are not alone. It's easy in these moments to get lost in the pain and question why things are happening. But let me remind you of something very powerful. God never wastes a hurt. He takes every trial, every tear, and he uses it to shape you, to draw you closer to his heart. It might not feel like it in the moment, but every ounce of pain is being used for your growth and for your future. He is working in the unseen, preparing you for a greater purpose, a greater restoration than you could ever imagine. And here's the key, you may not have control over the actions of others, but you do have control over how you respond. You can choose to let rejection define you, or you can choose to let God's love define you. The truth is, the moment you embrace God's love for you, really embrace it, everything changes. Rejection no longer has the power to define your worth because God already has. When you hold on to the truth that you are loved beyond measure, it shifts your entire perspective. The opinions of others lose their power. The sting of rejection begins to fade, replaced with an unshakable confidence in God's love for you. So, today, I urge you to remember this. No matter what the world may say, no matter how many people may turn away, His love will never leave you. Even when your own children may walk away, God's love remains steadfast, unchanging, and eternal. This truth, this powerful, unwavering love, is the anchor for your soul. And when you know, deep down, that you are loved by the Creator of the universe, rejection loses its hold on you. You can stand tall, knowing you are seen. You are loved and you are never, ever forsaken. Have you ever found yourself pouring everything you have into someone, only to have them walk away? The rejection doesn't just sting, it cuts deep. You gave them your time, your energy, your love, and your devotion. Yet when you needed them most, they turned their back. It leaves you questioning your own worth. You begin to ask, what went wrong? Why does it feel like no one values me? But in those moments of deep despair, I want to remind you of something powerful. God's love for you is unconditional. It doesn't matter how many times you've been rejected by others. It doesn't matter how many doors have been slammed in your face or how many people have turned their back. God's love is not based on your performance. His love is not something you earn, and it is not something that fades when you mess up or fall short. It is unwavering, steady, and constant, always there, no matter what. Think about it for a moment. God's love is not dependent on how good you are, how successful you are, or how many people love you. His love isn't conditional on how perfect you are, how many mistakes you've made, or whether you've been faithful to Him. It is based solely on His heart for you. That is something the world can't offer. People will fail you, circumstances will shift, and relationships will come and go, but God's love remains the same. It is a rock in the storm, an anchor in the turbulence of life. When you're facing rejection, the temptation is to withdraw, to isolate yourself, and to believe that you are no longer worthy of love. You begin to feel like an outsider, as though everyone has rejected you and no one understands your pain. But God does. God understands. He knows the weight of rejection. He knows the loneliness you feel when you've been abandoned by those you love. He felt it too. Remember, Jesus was rejected by His own people, His own disciples. He was forsaken and betrayed by the very ones He trusted. If anyone understands rejection, it's Jesus. Yet, despite this, God never stopped loving. Even in His deepest moments of pain, He still offered love, grace, and forgiveness. And here's the key: that same love is for you. No matter how many times you feel overlooked or cast aside, God's love doesn't change. In fact, He is closer to you in your pain than you realize. You may feel forgotten by others, but God never forgets you. His love reaches down to where you are and embraces you with a tenderness that heals the deepest wounds. And this love, this unconditional love, is not just a passive force, it's an active force that works within you, changing you, lifting you up when you're broken. It empowers you to rise above rejection, to stand firm in who you are, and to face the world with a confidence that doesn't rely on the approval of others. When you know deep in your soul that God loves you with an everlasting love, nothing at all can shake you. Rejection loses its power over you. You are free to love again, to forgive, and to embrace life's challenges, knowing that no matter what happens, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of the universe. Imagine for a moment that you're standing in the middle of a crowd. You're surrounded by people, but you feel completely alone. The ones you've trusted most, the ones you've cared for, are nowhere to be found. Maybe they've abandoned you, or maybe it feels like they just don't understand the depths of your pain. The loneliness creeps in, and the silence feels like a heavy weight pressing down on your chest. In these moments, it's easy to feel like nobody cares, like nobody truly sees you. But here's the truth that can change everything. God sees you, and He understands your pain in a way no one else ever could. When rejection hits, it's not just the loss of someone else's approval that stings. It's the loss of connection, the deep sense that you've been overlooked, forgotten, and dismissed. We are wired for connection, for relationship, and when that's broken, it can feel like a piece of us is missing. But in these very moments, God doesn't just stand by, He steps in. God understands every tear, every ache, and every broken moment. He's not distant. He's not indifferent. He's right there with you, feeling what you feel, knowing what you're going through. Think about Jesus for a moment. When He walked the earth, He wasn't immune to rejection. People rejected Him. His own family questioned His purpose, and His closest friends abandoned Him in His darkest hour. He experienced the full weight of isolation, and yet, through it all, He never lost His compassion. In fact, it was His understanding of our deepest pain that allowed Him to offer comfort. God doesn't turn His back on you when you're hurting. He draws near to you in your pain. He is a God who understands. And because of this, He's the only one who can truly comfort you in a way that heals, not just soothes. When we go through rejection, we may find ourselves withdrawing from the world. It's tempting to close ourselves off, to build walls around our hearts, to protect ourselves from further hurt. But God doesn't want you to isolate yourself. He calls you into relationship with Him, into His loving embrace. And here's the beautiful truth. God's comfort doesn't just come in words, it comes in presence. He is there in the quiet moments when no one else is around, holding your heart. He offers a comfort that transcends anything this world can provide. Where human words fail, God's love speaks louder. This isn't just a comfort that's given for a moment. It's a promise that no matter how much rejection you face, no matter how deep the wound, God's presence will never leave you. He is with you in the valleys, in the depths of your sorrow, and in the loneliness of your rejection. There is a peace that only He can offer, a peace that surpasses all understanding. This is the peace that allows you to rise above the hurt, to heal, and to keep moving forward, not because the pain is gone, but because God is with you. So, when rejection hits and the world feels cold, don't pull back into isolation. Remember that God understands, and He is with you. He will comfort you, hold you, and walk with you through the darkest of times. And through His comfort, He will give you the strength to rise again, to continue loving, and to believe that no matter what others may do, you are never truly alone. Have you ever felt like everything was slipping through your fingers? Like no matter how hard you tried, no matter how much you gave, the situation just seemed beyond repair. Perhaps it's a relationship, a dream, or even your own self-worth. You've faced rejection, disappointment, or failure, and it feels like the pieces of your life are scattered, irreparable. But let me tell you this, God is in the business of restoration. It's easy to believe that when things fall apart, they're lost forever. After all, we live in a world where brokenness seems permanent, where relationships fracture, dreams shatter. It's tempting to think that what's broken cannot be fixed, that what's been rejected cannot be restored. But here's the truth you need to hear. God specializes in making all things new. No matter how far you feel like you've fallen, no matter how broken you believe you are, God's hand can reach into the deepest parts of your heart, your relationships, and your life, and begin to bring healing. God's restoration doesn't work like human restoration. We try to fix things ourselves, sometimes with band-aids or quick solutions, and we're left frustrated when the problem persists. But God's restoration is thorough. It's healing at the deepest level. It's not about patching things up temporarily. It's about transforming you from the inside out. When you feel like there's nothing left to hope for, God can take what seems utterly lost and breathe new life into it. Think about the story of Job. Job's life was turned upside down. He lost his family, his wealth, his health. Everything he knew was gone. He faced rejection, betrayal, and heartache. And at times, it seemed like all was lost. But in the end, God didn't just give him back what he had lost, he gave him more. He restored Job beyond what he could have ever imagined. God's restoration is always greater than what was lost. You may be wondering, can this really happen for me? Can I really experience restoration after so much pain and rejection? The answer is a resounding yes. The same God who restored Job can restore you. He doesn't just fix broken things, he redeems them. And when he redeems, it's not just about putting things back together. It's about making them better than they were before. That's the power of hope, that even when life seems beyond repair, God can and will restore. He's in the business of renewal. He doesn't just see the broken pieces of your life. He sees the potential for something beautiful to emerge from them. And when he restores, he doesn't just heal the surface. He works from the inside, renewing your heart, your mind, and your spirit. So, if you've ever felt like the hope you once had is gone, if you feel like your relationships are too broken to repair, or your dreams are too shattered to revive, know this. God's restoration is still available to you. His hand is reaching out to you, ready to restore what has been lost, to heal what has been broken, and to give you a future filled with hope and promise. Hold on to that promise, because with God, nothing is beyond repair. What if I told you that your rejection could be the very thing that sets you up for a greater purpose? That the pain, the heartache, and the loneliness you've endured could be a launching pad for something far beyond what you could ever have imagined. When we face rejection, it's easy to feel like we've been sidelined, overlooked, and forgotten. It's easy to think that the doors are closed, the opportunities are lost, and that we've missed our chance. But I want to challenge you with this truth. God's plan for you is far greater than any rejection you face. When you're rejected by those you love or those you've trusted, it can feel like everything is falling apart. You start to doubt your worth, your abilities, and even your calling. It's a natural response to feel discouraged. But here's where the power of faith comes in. God often uses rejection as a stepping stone toward your destiny. That's right. Sometimes, the very thing that seems like a setback is actually the beginning of something greater. Rejection doesn't mark the end of the road. It marks the beginning of a new chapter, a new opportunity, and a new purpose. Think of the story of Joseph. Joseph was rejected by his own brothers, betrayed, and sold into slavery. He could have given up right then and there. He could have let the rejection define him, allowing it to break his spirit. But instead, Joseph trusted that God had a plan for his life, even when it seemed like everything was going wrong. That rejection, that betrayal, was the very thing that placed him in a position to fulfill his purpose to save nations. to restore his family, and to become a leader in Egypt. What appeared to be a rejection was actually a redirection. This is what I want you to understand. When others reject you, it may be God's way of closing a door to something that wasn't meant for you. He's redirecting you towards something better, something that fits his purpose for your life. So instead of letting rejection hold you back, use it as a catalyst to move forward. Trust that God is orchestrating your steps, even when you don't see the whole picture. His plan for you is not limited by the opinions of others or the rejection you face. It is far bigger, far more beautiful, and far more significant than anything you could have imagined. But here's the key: you must keep moving forward. Don't allow rejection to paralyze you or to make you lose faith in your calling. You've been chosen for something great, and rejection is just a temporary hurdle. Keep trusting in God's timing, his guidance, and his provision. Even when it feels like the doors are closed, remember that God holds the key to the next opportunity. He will open the right doors at the right time,